What is good, everyone? Welcome live to My Damn Creators, episode number 2. Thank you guys for joining us. Of course, I'm MDT. We have my co-host here, WSC. We are excited for episode number 2, man. Our second episode. Appreciate all the love on our first episode. It was fantastic. A lot of fun that we had here. And we're back with another great episode. We have a great show lined out for you. Nate, how are we doing, bud?
We're doing great. And as you can see, former 2-time WSC Hardcore Champion right here. And I've got the replica WSC Hardcore Championship in hand. This is insane. You got to get one for yourself, man. These are sick.
I definitely want to. Now that I've seen the quality and everything in hand, I mean, I think it looks incredible. I'm a bit jealous, I must say.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm going to take this out to Vegas for WrestleMania, have some fun with that there. Going to bring it to WWE World. We're going to be at Vegas WrestleMania 2 nights, you and me sitting together. Yes, I'm going to bring this with me too.
Hey.
And I never thought I'd be one of those guys, you know, bringing the title to the events and stuff, but it's just so cool I got to, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. and speaking of Vegas, at the time recording this, we're a week away. So a week from today, me and you will probably be in a hotel. So it's a week from today.
When this comes out, we'll be in Vegas. So yeah, big week and a half for me. I'm actually leaving earlier to see some family in Melbourne. I moved up to Gold Coast recently in Australia, and yeah, gonna see family there. And then I'm gonna go to Vegas, meet up with my boy Trey, Danny there as well, and we're just gonna enjoy WrestleMania week. And yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm super pumped, super excited. We already got our tickets laid out. We already got where we're sitting. We know exactly the vibe. We got the card released. Going to be epic. And of course, not to mention, we have a ton of figure stuff that's going to be released at WWE World that we'll be covering. And I'm sure you'll plan on doing the same, but we're going to make content out there of some kind. We're going to be vlogging and filming all the extracurriculars and all the different business. So should be a lot of fun. And it's one of the best weekends of the entire year for us. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I actually filmed like a vlog last year. I was trying to like capture all of like Mania 41, but at a certain point I just like missed some things like filming it. It was so much. It was like a job to just capture the whole event. I kind of wanted to chill out and just like have fun. But this time I think I want to film reactions like I did for 39. And I think it's going to be super hype with me and Trey there. And Danny's going to be with us at night 2 as well. So yeah, I think I'll do a vlog. You're definitely doing content out there. And yeah, we're going to be at WWE World. We're going to see all the new figures, hopefully some good stuff there. But yeah, very exciting times to come.
100%, man. Can't wait. I mean, the thing is especially as well as I do, especially when you're on a tight ship or you have things planned or scheduled that you need to do or you have to do or that you want done beforehand, the time we might as well just get on the plane in an hour. That's how it works. Time just doesn't exist. And so we know that at any moment we will be leaving for Vegas, and it's exciting, but it's a lot of work. We're going to get there, but I'm hyped. You ready to go for episode 2 here?
Yeah, I'm hyped. I just released a WrestleMania build-up video, promo video. You guys blew it up. It's very exciting to see, promo videos and the storylines can get some love too, not just the matches. So I'm glad you guys are hyped for WSC WrestleMania. It's been a huge process trying to get all this done. I really wanted to get some WSC WrestleMania matches out before the real WrestleMania. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It's probably going to be filming from end of April, maybe until August if we're being realistic. So hope you guys will enjoy that, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to getting into all the filming on that. And Trey's been, filming some VidFed stuff too, or VidFed actually. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was going to say the hype for Mania is real for WSC, and there's a lot that goes in there that we discussed, and the process of everything, and it's been crazy getting into the mind shift of trying to add that on top of everything else. But I think that we're getting into a good groove and a rhythm, and I think that over the course, I don't know, I flirted with dropping some stuff for Mania just for a little bit of the tease. We'll see how that goes, but I'm hyped, man. I think that getting to both feds lifted off the ground, or getting mine off the ground to be level with yours there at the same time as the pod is exciting stuff. So I'm hyped, man. But yeah, definitely go check out the build for Mania. Always enjoy WSC's Fed stuff, and it should be really exciting. Is there anything you want to add before we get into the meat and potatoes, or you want to plug something else? You want to talk about something else?
No, I think this title is really heavy. I don't know if I'm going to be holding it the whole time, but it's just beautiful and it's really cool. So I wanted to show this off to you guys on the video. I'm sure we'll be filming some stuff with it in Vegas. I need someone to film me with this title. So, and if you meet me in Vegas too, you can hold this title as well. I'll let you hold it. Just don't steal it, all right? Because I'll hit you with the creation of destruction. You don't want that, all right? You don't mess with the upper echelon, all right?
That's good stuff. The yeah, man, seeing the title, I got to get one made. That's always been, I think I've talked about that on the channel before, is I've always wanted a really detailed, nice, fully authentic deal with the zebra strap and everything like that. So definitely an inspiration to get started on that. Or maybe I'll have the same people make a version like that too.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to know, they're called Belt Championship _zone.bk on Instagram. And yeah, it's good quality stuff. It's not like exactly detailed as like the figure title that is based off, but it's very close. And it's just really cool to have something that looks like the Action Figure Championship. So I'm really happy to have something like this.
Yeah, man, it looks really good. I remember you sent me photos. I'm instantly jealous. It looks great. It looks great. But I'm ready to dive in if you're ready to dive in.
Yeah, let's get into some agree disagree.
All right, man. We're starting things off with agree, disagree, kind of the staple here at the beginning of our shows here. Got a little bit of everything here. We got some collecting. We got some pick fed and video fed stuff. We're going to dive into just some history lessons. We're going to dive into some just different things throughout. And I think, everybody will be able to get a little bit out of this episode, no matter where you collect or where you fall in the action figure community as far as wrestling goes. So I'm ready. Agree, disagree. Our first prompt here is going to be pick fed related, and it is the prompt is pick fedding is harder than vid fedding. And I have learned, I had, back in the day, used to have some vid fed elements, but nothing like what it is today. Correct. So in this week and maybe these last couple of weeks have gotten to really see both sides of the coin here. So I think I'm ready.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Let me get mine ready here.
All right,
okay.
Don't go early now. Remember last time
I learned my lesson.
All right, ready. So the prompt is pick fed is harder than vid fed. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, man. Yeah. Disagree. Right. I mean, obviously anything to do with pick fedding, videoing, animation, stop motion, anything like that, as we talk multiple times, every time we talk, I feel like this comes up at some point. Everything related to this is so tedious. And anybody that watches this pod or anybody that has watched the channel before, nothing is as it seems. I always say, people think, why does it take you 4 or 5 hours to review something or whatever the case is? It's because of how tedious everything is. If you really want it to be good, if you really want it to look professional and look the best that it can, it just requires time. And that's just the way that it is, especially when you're dealing with these little intricate pieces, accessories, whatever. And yeah, I think that vid fedding is harder than pick fedding. And I'll throw it over to you, and I have a little bit more to say, but I want to hear from you first.
Yeah, so I've always said that, it's easier to make a good looking pick fed than it is to make a good looking vid fed. I feel like it's pretty straightforward what pick fed is. You just pose the figures, it's like less steps than stop motion. It's achievable. You can watch other people do it and you can try and replicate it. But with vid fed, it's a lot more skills based that you have to acquire, a lot more, intricate stuff with your hands to manipulate the figures, to puppeteer the figures into executing what you wanted to execute. And sometimes it's luck based too. Like you're trying to perform a move and, you get lucky sometimes in how the figure falls and it looks the way you want it to look. So yeah, it's very intricate vid fed. And to make it look as good as possible, like it's even more. There's just like a whole nother level to it. And yeah, I think that VidFed is much harder than PickFed. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just what I was going to say, like going back to my original point about how tedious it is. saying that video fedding or vid fedding is harder than pick fedding is not to take away anything from pick
No,
fedding, because pick fedding is really difficult too in terms of the patience and the time and the just hard work element that it takes. Again, anything that anything that's going to be good is going to require a lot of you. And so, your back's going to be aching, like your arms are outstretched trying to get the right pose. And,
but
you're
you get that with VidFed as well.
correct, and I'm just saying that in pick fetting, it's still a lot of work, and there's still a lot that
100%.
goes on with it. And then, like, even if you were to just cut it down to, all right, I did my slideshow, I have my music, that's still a lot of work that goes into that. You just have different layers once you get into adding sound effects, adding entrances, adding, a bottle getting smashed, adding a table sound effect, adding a commentary, adding, you know what I mean? These promo builds, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different
But
things.
also there are fedders out there who do the strict pick fed style like you did, that do the commentary and stuff. But I get what you mean. But yeah, I have done this full time for 6 years now, and I've done a lot of pick fed. Primarily in like 2021, 2022, I did a lot of pick fed elements, and I know what each style takes to make look good and what kind of effort it takes. Pick fed is definitely a bit mentally grueling. It's a little boring. It's a little more boring than VidFed. VidFed can be very frustrating because like trying to execute the things that you want to execute. But I think yeah, PickFed's more straightforward. For me, I'm very detail oriented and trying to make something that's inherently choppy like PickFed, make it look smooth. So that's where the complexity comes in. A lot of PickFedders don't care about, trying to make it flow together and make it look as smooth as possible. So it's easy for them. They just take photos, pose, take photos. They don't think about those little things that make the difference. But yeah, I would say with all my experience that VidFed is definitely harder than PickFed.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I don't think there's a if you've actually tried both and really sat down and tried
Yeah.
to execute it really, really hard and really well, then yeah, I could absolutely see that. But let's move on to our second prompt, man. The second prompt, I don't know if you have them in order. I'm gonna go out of order here so we can kind of go, back and forth if that makes sense.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? All right, so the next prompt is going to be pinless joints are better than pinned joints. So pinless joints are better than pin joints.
Okay.
And I guess it's kind of difficult because I feel like there's nuance, but you know what?
There is.
I'm gonna get into it. Let's go. Are you ready? Pinless joints are better than pin joints.
I'm ready. Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Mm.
Disagree.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's hear you out. Why do you think pinless are better than pin?
I agree that pinless are better than pinned because overall they look better. They look much better. And, I don't think all of them are stiff. I think it's only certain ones. And I think it's mainly because of the factory. This damn Vietnam factory is screwing all this up for us. So, but yeah, I would much prefer pinless because it looks better. And yeah, the only downside is that some of them are very tight. What do you think, Trey?
Yeah, I think mine comes down to I think where I disagree that it's better, and I think I'm more of an agreement that there's I don't think it's like a this is better than that. I think they're more equal, if anything, if that makes sense. Where it's kind of like this yin and yang situation where pinless looks better, but it tends to not operate as smoothly. And then pinned, obviously, like you go back and look at old WWE elites, man, and it's an eyesore when you look at the arm. It's got a giant hole in it. At the
Yeah.
time, yeah, we didn't really give a damn, but now when you look back, you're like, man, that yeah, it definitely is an eyesore. Or AEW Jazzwares figures where they have the giant, even in a double jointed arm on the women's figures, and it's so skinny, but they have this giant hole. Yeah, aesthetically, no doubt about it. But I think it would be more of they're almost ever revolving, if that makes sense, where I just didn't see a lot of the issues that I see in the pin legs era. Like if you look at even today, we get pinned figures and they still operate so smoothly, like an Ultimate Edition Logan Paul or whatever. And it's mainly not the arms, right? It's mainly the knees, especially jeans or
Yeah.
denim legs, man. They're god awful. They're god awful. Yeah, I don't think I agree that it's where I disagree is that I don't think pinless are just straight better. And I think it's more of a yin and yang, like I described.
I think it's something they should work on. I don't think it's something that you should just go back and use old technology. I think it should definitely be worked on. And if it's the factories, please sort that out. Please try and do what you can.
Yeah, I think the cat's out of the bag. It's kind of like industry standard now, right? Unless you're a third
Yeah.
party or something, they're never going back, unfortunately. But they haven't converted everybody, right? John Cena still has pins. Logan Paul's figures, his Ultimate at least, has pins. There's some certain molds that still have pins, and that we're going to continue to get them until they completely, I guess, shell them out. But let's move on to prompt number 3. Are you ready for prompt number 3?
I am. Let's go.
Prompt 3: VidFed is better than stop motion. So VidFed is better than stop motion. So you would think that, stop motion's like, okay, that's the ultimate look and goal. And then you have VidFed. So
Yeah.
VidFed is better than stop motion.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Agree. Okay.
I agree.
Why do you think that?
So, I used to think that stop motion would be the ultimate. Oh, if you could just make these things look so smooth, and this would be the ultimate way to film a match or film a segment. And I think that I do. And I guess I don't know. I think people are going to look at it like, oh, you think that skipping steps, but I don't think you're really skipping that many steps when you're going into it. I mean, probably when it depends on, your frame rates and whatever. And there's some incredibly talented stop motion artists, but I think that in the wrestling realm, these shows and these matches that are put on, the VidFed style really just sucks you into it a lot more, and it creates almost this whole new dynamic. And I guess, have we ever really seen a full stop motion production of
That's what I
wrestling
was going to
figures
say.
that bring every element that we see in these pick fed or video fed styles that we've seen over the years? I don't think anybody ever full sold a full stop motion show, or I've seen obviously matches exist and stuff, but has anybody ever put in
I think the
all those
closest
elements?
one was NLW, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's like to say like stop motion. Yeah, you would think that stop motion would be better than VidFed, but then again, it's like, well, not every stop motion is built the same. Not just because it's stop motion doesn't mean that it like looks very good, The thing
Mhm.
that VidFed has on it is that it's actually happening. It's actually like real motion that's happening in real time, and that's exciting and that's engaging, and it's just a whole new element, and it's more accessible for everybody to go ahead and try and do and try their hand at than stop motion, which just isn't really viable long term if you want to do this as a hobby or as a career. So yeah, I would say VidFed's better.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. I think that all your points are valid. Like the vid fed style is it's just clean, man. I don't know. I don't really know. And obviously I know a bunch of really, really talented stop motion artists, and not to say that
100%.
they're
Yeah.
not, because it's like different art forms almost, I guess.
Like I would like because I use PickFed elements when I can't perform something in VidFed. I would love to work with stop motion artists to like work with me in studio to like do stuff,
Mhm.
instead of the PickFed thing. If anybody was available to do that, but it's hard to get people these days, and it takes a long time. So yeah, again, it's not super viable in the space. But yeah, there's 100% great stop motion artists. We're just saying in the form of like action figure feds that VidFed is the predominant and better style.
Yeah, I think that's where I am there. Let's
Yeah.
move on to something that is going to be, I guess, kind of like content related, and maybe like consumers can also add in here, because I think this is something that we think about because we actually put stuff out. And so I think that collectors could also maybe relate to this in some way here. But the prompt is: shorts ruined figure content, action figure content, wrestling figure content. do you feel that shorts are like, do you think there's good, I don't know, what's the best way to describe that? Because I don't know, I don't want to strictly come at it from a content creation perspective, but at the same time, I kind of do because we can kind of explain our experience. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think you should talk about it from the consumer and the content creator perspective. I think, yeah, overall, just
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the
So the
prompt.
prompt is again?
Shorts ruined figure content.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree? Okay.
Yeah, and it's tough because we've discussed this before. I'll let you go first. You go
It
first.
is
You go
tough.
first.
Because I could swing the other way too. Because,
Mm.
there are a lot of great creators who are doing short form stuff with action figures. And I don't like fault them. But there's a lot of like engagement baiting stuff. And, I don't really care what they do, like go for it. But it's also like maybe they're setting themselves up for false expectations because they're doing all this engagement baiting stuff to get themselves followers. But then when it comes to the stuff that they want them to see, like, their action figure videos in long form, people don't tune in to view them because they just came in from those shorts and they don't
Mm.
really care about like the other stuff that they're actually passionate about. So I think that kind of ruined things in the space and it's given people some false expectations. And it's kind of changed. It's kind of changed the attention spans a little bit of people too, I think. What do you think on the topic?
Yeah, that's where it's like I disagree because I think there are people out there that are putting out things that are passionately made and like there's some really good stuff you'll
Yeah,
find,
100%.
but there's just such a at the same time there's a ton of just I don't know, stuff that doesn't it's just not it's almost not necessarily brain rot because I don't want to call it brain rot, but at the same time it's stuff that, once you swipe it's gone for that your brain wipes it from you. I'm pretty sure they've done scientific studies on this where you swipe so much that your brain's not even bringing it what you're watching, you're not even processing it, thinking about it. It's just coming in and then it's throwing it away because it's moving on to the next thing you're swiping to. And I feel like that has a possibility to happen with shorts. Obviously, like I really didn't like it as a creator side, and I don't ever
Hmm.
time on shorts as a consumer on YouTube. Do you ever watch shorts on YouTube?
No, and I don't go on TikTok either. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
really tapped in, I guess.
the only I try my best to absolutely not scroll or doom scroll or whatever on TikTok, but I get on there, I do my own stuff on TikTok. I'll try to reply to people or check out what's going on. And then I might see a few videos, or if somebody tags me in something, I might would see it depending on what it is. But yeah, man, it as a content creator side, it just I don't know it almost introduced this whole new level of things where I don't know. I guess it's like you said, it affects your audience, I guess, and it can I don't know, just hurt them in the long run, not just, to watch other people, but anybody really.
Yeah, is there any creators that you do like? There's two guys I want to shout out, Snapper Figure and Figure 4 Action. I think they're doing great stuff. A lot of like effort put into those shorts. So is there anybody that you might be watching on shorts that you may like their stuff?
Yeah, they're really, really good. I like that. It's also because it's really original or it's
Yeah.
different. It's taking concepts and kind of tweaking them a little bit. And obviously the hand fed thing is I love how like viral it's went for
Yeah,
it's
that's really
figure
cool.
4, right? Like his
Yeah.
stuff is really good at I don't know, the way he's manipulating the figures and even the way that he mods them so that they're better for
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I
so
think the camera work too is really cool. I don't know what he uses, like glasses or some sort of harness as well.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just figured out a really cool way of making short form content. So
Mhm.
stuff like that, I'm really in support of.
Yeah, that's like the people I'm talking about that, they put a whole lot of effort into their short content and they really care about what they're putting out and it's not just some random BS or whatever. And I
Yeah.
I like that. But I think, yeah, I don't like the whole idea of shorts. Is mainly what it comes down to. I think that it does more harm than good, maybe. But then again, people's lives have been changed by what they've been able to do on TikTok and these
Sure.
other, these other platforms. But I don't know. Just because there's some good elements, does that mean that it's overall good? I don't know. Then we're getting into a whole philosophical, psychological, whatever the hell. I'm just gonna sit down and move on.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
let's go to the next one. Loose collecting. This is the next prompt. Loose collecting is more fun than mock collecting. I think we can throw this up in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And not like I have a lot of mint on card stuff. I wouldn't classify myself as a mint on card collector, but I certainly do have my share of mint on card stuff. But loose collecting is absolutely more fun. There's a lot more. If you have a figure, and this is just what my perspective is, you got a figure in the box. You can sit it on the shelf, hang it on the wall, get it autographed. Is
That's what
that
I was gonna say is like, what is the mindset of the mock collector? Are they doing it because they like the packaging? Are they doing it because they think it holds value and they want to resell it, or they just like to have something on the wall that is valuable? Like, what is the mindset of a mock collector?
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, I was going to say, I think for a lot of them, I think that it's similar to when you collect the loose, though, because like I can see the similarity, right? Because okay, they put up this Ultimate John Cena from the specific moment. I really want that mint on card. The packaging reminds me of this moment, et cetera, et cetera. I can absolutely, identify with that. But then I mean, if you're a loose collector, you can, I mean, you can customize them. You can switch the parts. You can action figure surgery. You can do matches. You can do stop motion. You can make a
Yeah.
crazy display. I can't even make a real display if every figure is in the box. You can make a wall or you can make a thing. And I know that's ironic when I have all these figures just sitting beside each other, but I have other displays where you pose out every figure. And the reason I don't with my wrestling figures is because there's simply too many and I don't have the space to really create a dynamic display. But I think creating a dynamic display, I mean, my AEW figures is warmer, but I think that's the way you should display. Figures are made to create with, I guess, and really capture imagination. And I think mint on card collecting has a spot, but I think that loose collecting is better or more fun.
I agree 100%. All the reasons you just said, just the creativity aspect of the figure and the fact that they're articulated figures. Like, you want to get them out of the box, you want to articulate them. So, yeah, 100%. We agree on that. What is the next agree, disagree?
So that actually brings me to a point. Might have a hot take for a future episode or day
Oh, okay.
about figures versus statues. I don't know. Might have a little fun there one day. I don't know, but I think this is our last agree disagree. Kind of has like a
Okay.
fetting element, and it's interesting. It's interesting. This is something that I've played with, and I don't know. Let's get into it here. AI. We're in the AI era,
We are. Yep.
good or bad. You know what I'm saying? AI should not be used in fetting, and you know what? You could even add in maybe collecting or content creation in general, but I guess you could say fetting. AI shouldn't be used in fetting, pick fetting, creating videos, whatever the case is.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Disagree. All
Yeah,
righty.
disagree, man. You go first on this one.
Yeah, I think, if you're doing like AI, like action figure matches and stuff, and you're like making it do all the work for you, I can totally see why anyone would have a problem with that. I don't like the idea of that. The AI that I use is like for the voices, and I think it's just like I could get voice actors to do these voices for me, or I could do the voices, or I could do an impression. But if I do like voice to speech or text to speech, I just think it's really cool to have the wrestlers in my show, which I just did a promo build up for my WrestleMania with a lot of AI voices. I think it just sounds really cool if they have the voices that sound similar to their real life counterpart. And it's just, yeah, it's a very cool new technology advancement. And I think it just helps all creators, to make their art. And, Yeah, the making the action figure matches with the AI, yeah, I'm not in support of that. I tried one time, I thought it was such a cool innovation to have the figures' mouths moving with AI. I thought that could be cool. It backfired, people didn't like it. Fair play, you know, I never used it again. That's fine. But and yeah, that would have been more work for me anyway, so why would I want that? But yeah. But yeah, I think because of the AI voices, I think I'm fine with AI being used in some capacity. What about you, Trey?
Yeah, man, it's I'm not a big AI supporter. I think that it has its place in certain ways, you know. I it gets really messy when you break it down in terms of I think true artists need to be the ones that are making these things. But like you said, I mean, you it's not like you have all this money or something that you could just, you know, you're not some billion-dollar movie company or producer and you can just shell out money to voice actors and do all this different stuff. You're
Yeah.
able to do it. It still requires a whole lot of work in certain aspects when it
Oh,
comes to the AI
100%.
voices.
There's a whole like behind the scenes of
Yeah.
work to get these AI voices and make them sound good that you guys don't see. And I hate it, but like it's a part of the process and it, you know, I feel like it has to be done, so I do it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and
go on.
I most recently I mean, I've done it in the past just to play around with it, and it was the same kind of process. I mean, it's tedious. You're trying to get the right clips. You got to find, you know, it's like a whole thing. But yeah, I think just taking a picture of a figure and then putting in hit him with a chair or do a flip or whatever. I just don't think it's not the same there. And you know, even if I don't know. I think that's just tough. Like making the, you know, I think part of the effort in fedding and in posing and stop motion, all that stuff comes with the work. Like you can't skip the work if that makes sense. And I think with the voices thing,
Yeah.
that's like a complete. I feel like those are two different realms. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't know ball. Maybe we don't know what the hell we're talking about. Somebody can let us know if that's. I would love to know what people think about that in terms of because I think I don't know. Like I think that at certain elements, the AI stuff can be cool, but it's like almost once I've seen the first one, I've seen them all, and it's not that way for fetting and stuff. I feel like it's a different game.
Yeah, because it's like, why are you tuning in to see AI doing action figure stuff?
Yeah.
Like you want to see real creators showing you what's possible with action figures. They made it with love. They made it. It's a piece of art. You get to enjoy it. You get to critique it. You get to, you know, see what's possible with action figures with your own creativity. And I think that's part of the reason why people watch. And if it was just made all with AI, what reason would anyone really have to care? It's not even like the actual action figure doing anything. It's computer generated, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I agree, and I mean, we're really on the. I mean, AI has been out for a few years now, but we're really. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in a few years? Like, I mean, my God, man, there's no telling what the next whatever many years holds in terms of this, you know? And I don't know, I just don't like the idea of if I could and it would suck for, you know, the Fed voices and stuff like that because I think they sound great. I've sent you some examples of it with my stuff and how cool
Yep.
it sounds and you know, it's really crazy what you're able to accomplish. But I mean and I'm sure AI has existed in terms of other things that help improve my life over the span of my lifetime, but I don't like the idea of AI advancement. I just like, have you not watched any Hollywood movie ever about this stuff?
Yeah, there's like a Black Mirror episode on it where they're like making movies with actors' likeness, and yeah, it's scary. Like we don't want that. We don't want that taking away jobs from real artists. So yeah, we can't be in support of that. But AI voices stuff to enhance the artist making the stuff. You're like, you know, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough thing, and I understand both sides of it 100%. And like I can, you know, I can conceptualize. I don't know, man. AI, that's a whole rigmarole there. But I think that's all of our agree disagree prompts. One thing I do want to say here though is if there's any questions or agree disagree prompts possibly, we want to see those down in the comment section below, correct? We want people to leave some or maybe some things they'd like to see us discuss in that manner, leave us a prompt that we can agree or disagree with and go back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys tell us what you want to hear on this podcast. It's all up to you. So let us know. Give us some feedback.
All righty. Let's head into our topic discussion here. And this is just going to be where me and Nate here, we're going to go back and forth on some different things about a certain subject. So we're going to have a subject line or whatever, and we're going to begin talking. We're just going to kind of go back and forth on it a little bit and have our own conversation about different things. Do you want to get started?
Yeah, sure. So the topic discussion today is the history of action figure feds and content creation. So we're going to go through the history as far as we know about, how it all started, how action figure feds evolved, and how we started on our channels and doing what we do. So do you want me to start off, or do you want to start off?
Yeah, you go ahead and start, and then I'll try to follow up here.
Yes, sure. So when I was like 8 years old or something, the first action figure pick fed that I watched was WAFF Fed on YouTube. They were posting like 2008, 2007. They would do like music fed to like Linkin Park stuff, and they would create these awesome stages, and they would have all the accessories, all the announcers. I couldn't believe like where'd they get all these accessories? Where'd they get the headset for the announcers? Like I feel like kids would be like that watching our stuff today. But yeah, I was amazed at what they could do, and they inspired me to make stages too. That's hence why I'm called stage creator. But yeah, they were the first like pick fed that I ever saw. They even did like VidFed elements, I guess. They had their hands in there a little bit too, though. But that was the first one I saw. And then I think, shout out Grimm's Toy Show. He 100% revolutionized the game, not just, action figure YouTube, but like wrestling YouTube in general too. He's one of the biggest, YouTubers in that space. And his action figure videos were awesome. It was like a parody style. He did reviews as well. And yeah, he did like a parody style of like WWE shows, GTS wrestling. It was very it is not good for the kids these days. But kids want to see stuff they're not supposed to be watching. So I loved it as a kid. And yeah, he was swearing all the time, and it was hilarious, just doing the craziest, wildest stuff. I would love to have him on the show. And then we got into
100%.
the music feds as well, and it's just like pick feds with the music in the background. And guys like Harrison, TNHW, Gennady, who's still going to this day. And then around about that point, you came in. Tell us your experience with pick fetting and you starting up and all that.
Yeah, so I forget how it all came about. Like obviously I had seen Grimm style, but I didn't really I want to say back in 2000, maybe like right around when YouTube first came around, maybe a couple years after that. I remember I don't remember who it was, I don't remember what it was, but I do remember remnants of like people doing some Jax feds that were
Yep.
very or like the photos are blurry. It's like back in the day, you're a kid, you're like, oh, this is awesome. But you're not too invested in that part. Compared to today, which obviously everything has a beginning. But then when I started getting into pig fetting, somebody told me, I can't remember who it was, but somebody had mentioned that term pig fetting, and I didn't really even know what it was altogether.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like a niche term, like in the community. Nobody knows like who started that one. But yeah, it's pick fetting. You take pictures, and it's just like a lesser form of stop motion, a more accessible way of making an action figure match.
Yeah, it's just, stop motion without the every single fluent motion or move, and
Yeah.
so I discovered this medium, like, "Oh, that's crazy, didn't even know that existed," and so, I'd watch feds and I really liked the way they were posing, like you mentioned with the custom stages, there's these people putting on some people had, like, edited belts or custom belts that looked really cool, and you're like, "Oh, man." And then you get being a creative, you get flooded, with just all these different ideas and things you wanna do, and so then I was thinking, when I would watch these shows, I couldn't read the story clearly, right? It was really hard to progress or process the story that was taking place. And so my thought was, okay, well, this needs to be kind of an episodic thing, and I'd like to add commentary. I'd like to commentate these matches. I'd like to add entrances with the Titantrons and the effects of the stage or the effects of the speaker coming down. I want to have get it as detailed as possible. include these sound effects and really kind of bring the show to life. I want you to sit down and watch it and it feel like you're watching Raw or SmackDown. That was kind of
Yeah.
the vibe that I wanted. So that's when, I started doing the pick fetting shows that you saw on my channel.
Yeah, it was very revolutionary for the time. Very, very cool stuff. And I feel like you inspired a lot of people. We can talk about like the tribalism in the PickFed community, because a lot of people, didn't like the innovations you were making, or Gennady, apparently people didn't like that he was using green screen. They thought he was doing too much,
Mm.
and there's a lot of those OG fedders who were like stuck in their ways and didn't want things to evolve or change.
Yeah, there was I don't know. It's crazy. Like I remember I don't even remember. I think it was either after the first MDT live or something like that where I got like crazy almost death threats over the feds, over the shows that I was
Yeah.
posting. It's like that's insane, man. And like obviously like you go back and watch them, they're not good. Maybe the stories might bring you in a little bit, but the posing was horrific and they would call me out on that. Rightly so. I mean, maybe not pointing a gun at my head or something, but like, yeah, like, did I deserve that? Probably not. But I mean, I guess it made me a better poser at the end of the day. Like like I took the criticism. Was like, all right, let's get better at this instead of you. I don't know. I think it made me a better creator overall in terms of making poses look better, making matches look better, making things look better, and it wasn't just I think that's I can kind of see probably where they were coming from, where they're like, dude, all of this looks like garbage, but you're just kind of slapping paint over it, and people are liking it because it's you're just slapping paint over it. You're jingling keys. You're like, oh, don't pay attention to this terrible pose. Look, I have an entrance, and
Yeah.
like, that's probably where they were coming from, and, like, I get
Yeah,
that.
sure.
I can completely understand that, but I think that the way that it's evolved from that point, I think I got better, and it was a lot I like, again, shouldn't probably, speak on people that way or send them death threats or whatever, but, I mean, I guess it made me better at the end of the day. I don't know.
Yeah, I had some controversy with those people too, and I might talk about that. I never got death threats, so I'm surprised that that happened to you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, but, I mean, it got like, I understand it to a certain extent, like, I'm not, whatever, it's water under the bridge now, but
Yeah, you proved them wrong.
I mean, I get my posing got better, so I get maybe I did. Like now,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, it kind of made me take pride in posing from that point. So then I guess that all works together.
Yeah, so when did you kind of like slow down with the Fed? What
So
was that point like? Because you were going a lot of episodes like frequently at the start, and then it started to slow down.
yeah, I think it just comes down to, your life and responsibilities and things like that. I had my son in 2020, and that
Yeah.
was around I think I was about to post Hell's Gate, and then he was born, and it kinda set me back a few weeks, obviously, because, I take pride in being a dad and a father first over,
Hmm.
filming a damn show. But, yeah, I mean, that's what happened, and then as things progressed, I think they the way that episodes released got slower and slower because of life responsibilities and priorities, and then I now have 3 kids. So, it just kind of I think it's the way that life progresses, but now my son's older, my kids are a little bit older now. It's not the same as having, a newborn or 2 kids or a newborn and 2 kids or whatever the case is. And so I don't know, I don't know, I've always talked about how I think that I believe that everything works for the good, and I think that, the timing of everything is gonna work out exactly how it's supposed to and everything like that, and that's what we're working towards. I think that when it's time to go, all will be fine.
Yeah, and then that brings me to around about the point where WSC started. And for me, I was starting out on Instagram. I started in 2014. I was like 13 years old. And at the start, it was just me posting my stage dioramas because that was my thing. That's why I'm called WSC stage creator. It used to be WWE stage creator, but for business reasons, I had to change that. Uh, but then, so I got inspired by, My Damn Toys and Wrestling Hero Figs. I was really grinding hard on Instagram, and I really wanted to build that up. But, you know, they were gaining a lot of traction on YouTube, and I just wanted to build a bigger brand in the figure space. And they were making money from doing something they love, and I thought that was a great opportunity. And I was at the point in high school where it was like, you know, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Like, well, maybe I don't know the rest of my life, but I'm just thinking like, what am I going to do after high school? You know, I don't want a typical office job. I don't want to go to university like just to do something for the sake of doing it when I'm not like passionate about some sort of thing. And then, you know, I put all my time, my free time into this, you know, stage creator thing on Instagram. And I was so, you know, in love with it. It's my passion. And yeah, I started to, you know, study YouTube and make YouTube videos. And I found the thing I liked, which was inspired by Wrestling Hero Figs, who was making like the hand fed matches. And at the start, I thought, oh, it was cringe. So I was like, how do I make it like a not cringe, because people really like this stuff, but I think I could make it better. So I would like plan out the matches more and not do it on the fly, you know, be more serious about it. And then eventually like it turned into like storylines of my own fed. But yeah, looking back, it's cringe because I wasn't like comfortable like speaking on camera and the editing and stuff. But you know, people really liked it. And then it evolved into, you know, not showing my hands, doing some pick fed elements, but I would film it all in video. And then that formed what I dubbed VidFed. At a certain point, I was calling it like real time action. But then I was like, everyone was saying like, "Oh, you're not a pick fedder," and hating on me at a certain point. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not a pick fedder. I'm VidFed." So I announced that, you know, to the world and stuff. Put a name to it. There's this show I discovered recently too called Action League Now on Nickelodeon, which actually does VidFed, and they called it Chuckimation, which is really cool. It's like chucking the figures across like the screen and stuff. And they do like you know, VidFed elements, like when the figures are talking, they move the figures to talk with it. And yeah, it's really cool to see that it's an actual thing that's been in a real production. And yeah, they do stop motion elements as well as the VidFed, just like I do, but I do pick fed with it. And yeah, so that's where VidFed came from. A lot of people adopted the style. There's a whole TikTok community which adopted that style. And you know, they used to do like fan feds where they have like the wrestlers like resemble themselves. They would call it like Roman Reigns figure, and it's like, oh, he's Damien or something, and they would
Wait,
like wrestle
what?
each other and thing.
What is this? Never heard of this.
Yeah. Well, they're growing up now, and now they're traditional pig fetters. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that used to be the thing.
I've never
That was
heard
a
of
funny
that.
thing back in the day. But
Interesting.
yeah, what did you think at the time when you know, I started on my YouTube? Were you like, did you know what was going on back then, or
Um, I just remember it being a style that everybody really liked, you know, and it really just kind of revolutionized everything. And it, I think, you know, it kind of made it. I mean, I guess you could say that it kind of killed pick fetting as it was, but I mean, I guess that's how things progress, you know, like things that once
yeah,
were usually you have to evolve with it or things perish. I mean, that's the classic line, right? Like you have to evolve. And that's why I always told people, they're like, "Oh, bring back the pick fed." And I'm like, if I bring back the pick fed, it'll be the same organization. It'll be the same stories trying to complete those and showcasing everything. But I don't think you can't just go back to a traditional pick fed. And I wouldn't even want that because I've seen what people can do in that format. And I think it just is, I don't know, it's just so awesome. I think when you get all the
yeah,
elements in there, it's just really, really cool and it brings everything to life. And I mean, it stinks, but that's just kind of the, you know, it's kind of the reality of it when it comes to things evolving. I mean, you gotta progress, you gotta evolve with it. And I think that also, I think at a certain point, that's probably where, you know, that that break came in too, because around the time that I started getting longer between episodes is when you started, you know, kind of innovating those certain styles and like timelines kind of crossed over to where it wasn't just so simple in my mind to just do the same things you'd always done. I felt like it needed an element or a change. And so, not that it took me years to figure that out or something, but I think that it probably was just another wrinkle in the timeline of waiting and waiting for the right moment and all those different things.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And back to that thing about, the haters and stuff and the tribalism, there was a point where I answered like a question of like, what do I think of PickFed? I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but I said it was like I didn't find it, like I found it boring or something. And then like people like jumped on me. And this was around the time where like my character won the title on the show. So they were like jumping on me. People who didn't follow me at all just like came onto my post just to like hate on me and like in the DMs and stuff and like rage baiting me and stuff. But in that 2021 period, like I took that because I was putting in a lot of work. I was doing a lot of VidFed elements or PickFed elements that these guys were doing, and like nobody was like respecting, what I was doing. So like I went really hard into, the PickFed kind of style around that time, and just to prove them wrong. But and I think it's some great work. I really like the kind of pick fed stuff I did. But as a creator, you just like to evolve and change over time. You can't be doing the same stuff all the time. So that the styles always evolve.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think you're correct, and I think that it's made for. I don't know. I think that was it rising tides lift all ships kind of deal,
Yeah,
and I think that that's kind of where we are now, where whatever somebody like TWFC is a really good plug there, for Elite Wrestling Figs on Instagram. I've plugged him for years, even back on Talking Feds. I used to talk about his
you did.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, really creative individual, and I think the elements that he's added of VidFed combined with elements of pick fetting and all these different things, it's just yeah, like you kind of inspire generations, you inspire different people to do their own things and make them the best possible way. So I think that it's all good at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially now, like I had to do all that stuff from scratch, figure this whole VidFed thing out. Now everybody can, learn from me and try and, I've done the heavy lifting for them. They can learn from me and try and, re-engineer, what I do and bring their own flavor to it a little bit as well. And then there's an innovation, if you would call it that, that I introduced. I want to get your take on it. Is the multiverse. So around about like 2021, I had this idea of like I was doing all this, the hardcore WSC hardcore championship and all that. And I was thinking like, how do we, do something? Cause I was getting a little bored of just filming, the same kind of stuff. So I was like, how do I take things outside the box and do some stuff that'll be fun for me and will be fun for the fans? And we can do some, I thought at the time it'd be like easier to make kind of stuff, but it didn't turn out to be the case. And yeah, just do some fun stuff with some different figures as well, because I'm interested in things. I'm a big movie guy, so I'm interested in things that aren't, WWE as well. And yeah, what did you think about that whole thing?
I think it's great, man. I'm all like, it's all toys at the end of the day, right? It's all action figures, and so it's always fun to have just different things. And like you said, like I love comics and superheroes and Spider-Man and Dragon Ball Z and all these really fun things that like obviously wrestling's fantastic, but it's you're making content first of all. Second of all, it's action figures and toys. You should have fun with it, man. It should be almost borderline like, oh my God, this is insane. What are you doing? But that's kind of the whole point of it, right? It's entertainment. You're trying to make a really fun video and you're trying to create this cool concept. I think it works. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think I like the balance. Like, I want to have balance on the channel. You get the multiverse stuff. If you don't like that, fine. You got the hardcore championship and things. It's not just all one thing. You got a variety on the channel, and there's a lot of fun things in the multiverse. Tibbles being one of them, which is one of the funny things on the channel. My dog Tibbles. He doesn't like me right now, but hopefully we'll sort that out, or maybe not, because I got Mimsy now. Mimsy the cat, shape shifting cat.
See, there you go.
But
You like
yeah.
just the ridiculousness of it. I think that's yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. So I
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, and what do you think of the current state of, figure content creation and the trends right now? What do you think of what's going on?
I mean, I don't know. What's cool about the wrestling figure space, and I guess this relates to any action figure space. But I feel like the wrestling figure space specifically is very unique because there is, I don't know, there's a little bit of everything for everybody depending on what you like. You know, there's so many different corners of the community, and I think that, I don't know, it seems like there's just something for everybody. Whether whatever element you like about it, you can kind of find your direction and fit right in. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you thinking when you ask that question?
Mm. I think, yeah, it's a lot of these days it seems like multiverse, a lot of people are doing that because it's like easier views because of the novelty of it. And people like curiosity clicks. They click on it, it's like, what's this?
Mhm.
They might not stick around after though if you don't give them something to stick around for. But yeah, and you got the shorts that we were talking about the engagement baiting sort of stuff. I would like to see more like prominent, just regular like feds. But again, it's very hard to do. It's a full-time job. I do this full time. So it's very hard to do for anybody just doing it in their spare time, especially at the level of content the way it's at now. It's harder to do.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and I mean, I guess you can really see it when you look at the upload schedules of certain, if you go find these other feds or whatever the case is, and it's a lot of effort. And again, it goes back to the tediousness that I talked about. It's very tedious. It's tedious. If I wanted to film a short about a figure and I wanted it to have a couple different elements or whatever, that's just what it is, man. It takes time because it's so tedious. Like, it's just very, very tedious. And
Yeah.
so you take that tediousness and it's every day and it's multi-level and it's multifaceted, and the more elements you want in there, the more tedious it is, the more layered it is, the longer it takes. And that's just the reality of the beast, as they say.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about the history of where we are at today with action figure feds. Do you have anything you'd like to add, or do you think we've covered it there?
I mean, I really, I want to give a shout out to everybody, I guess, that's either maybe I mean, if you've seen it, that's one thing, but to actually, if you've actually tried to fed or actually tried to do stop motion or even really action figure photography, it's even tedious to
Yeah.
then, like, just to get a clean, concise one shot with an element you like, or like lighting and different things, and then the editing process. There's just a I don't know. I love seeing the, and I've always talked about this in it all the time. I love the creativity of the community, whether that be a cool display somebody made, or maybe they had an innovation there, or maybe it's a action figure show, or maybe it's action figure photography, maybe it's a custom, maybe they created this unique formula for a figure. I love the creativity of our specific community because it's like every day I see something else and I'm like, damn, that was really smart, or damn, that God, how did I not think of that? Or that's really unique. So I don't know. Just shout out to our community because they be crushing it.
Yeah, shout out to anybody who picks up a camera and films something or takes a photograph. The creativity, we love to see it. And we would love to, highlight some creators on here and get them on as guests. That would be a lot of fun and
Yeah,
talk
that's
to
a
them
good
about all
point.
these topics.
That's a good point. We need to, if who should be the first guest on the show?
Yeah.
Who should be the
Now we
first
are
guest?
going to Vegas next week. So I think Danny might possibly be the first guest, which
That
could be
is
a lot
true.
of fun.
Danny Meltzer will probably be the first guest, and I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna try to make it work in the hotel room. I I almost feel like no matter how it comes to fruition, we're gonna have to film something. I don't know how we're gonna do it or what it's gonna look
Yeah,
like,
because we won't
but
have the same audio equipment. So we'll see what
correct.
we can do. But we
Yeah.
would love to film something there.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But that is our topic discussion, man. Now we're going to head into Mattel mishaps. This is our segment of the show where we dive into a classic mishap that maybe Mattel had or something like that, whether that be a crazy, maybe a parts choice from the past or something memorable that happened in the community that had to do with a figure or Mattel mishap. And I think today's is pretty crazy, and I'm going to try to plug in a clip of it. But this
100%.
is from Ringside Fest, I think it was. Is it Ringside Fest 2022, 2023, somewhere in there? And it's about when the Mattel team they revealed a new pack, or not a new pack, but a new set of Uso Elites, and they were, or was it just the one?
Well, there was I think it was Top Picks Jimmy Uso. So
Yeah.
the other Uso was fine, but it was the Jimmy Uso. And then I think what they revealed to them was the Ultimate Edition, or was it the Top Picks? Because both of them were screwed up.
Yeah, I want to say they revealed the top picks, but it could have been, I want to say it was an Elite. I want to say it was the top picks Jimmy maybe, or something like that. And it was in the same wave maybe as The Rock or Roman or something like that. And they revealed the figure, and Jimmy, I think it was either Jimmy or Jay, and they basically were like, "That's not me," or something like
That's
that.
not me.
Like, that ain't me, or that's Oos, or something like that. It was something to do with that. And I'll try to plug the clip in right here or whatever and show off the clip.
Oh my goodness. So this looks like, is this Jay? This is Jay's top picks figure, right?
Jimmy.
Oh, this is Jimmy's top pick figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, man. Well, I'm not
like
on
me.
the team.
That's definitely. It's definitely Jay right there.
Yeah, this is Jimmy Uso. This is going to be in our top picks line.
Okay.
So I have this pick. This is the picture on camera right now.
I mean, I think the only critique we got here is, I mean, Jim has long hair, and I got the short dude. So.
If I could show this is the backs of the figures. If you could see,
my figure's dead on me though. I mean, I love my action figure boys. You guys hit it on your head.
But that was so funny when it happened, because everybody called it out. Everybody was obviously talking about how, dude, that's not even Jimmy, that's Jay. And I don't know. It was just a really funny moment that took place. And the figure, it's not that the figure was bad. It's just that wasn't who they said it was. And so, I don't think the figure was bad, and you could head swap it, right? But at the same time, yeah, that's not.
I got some stuff to say about this.
Okay,
this is peak bloodline.
That is
We're
true.
winning figures, peak bloodline, one of the biggest storylines in wrestling, and somehow, Bill, come on, man, what are you doing? How one of the most prominent wrestlers on the show, and you don't know what he looks like. And then on the box, there's one box that exposes it, which is like, you can see the hairs flick back and it looks nothing like it. They gave him Jey Uso hair with a Jey Uso looking face. It literally is like a Jey Uso face with Jey Uso hair with the long bangs. But then they added long hair to the back. So it's like a long mullet, and then put the half and half red hair, which Jimmy did have. And it's just the weirdest looking thing ever.
Yeah, I remember, and that is a good point about the bloodline. That, and again, it's just, I don't know. Some of these things are just crazy, man. Some of them are just,
But then there was another box where they freaking edited the photo on the box to cover up the mishap. Like, what are we doing?
Actually,
like, holy.
There's quite a few. You might could do a whole segment dedicated to that, because I know that has absolutely happened in the past with other things as well. I think it's Elite 94 Edge. I think they edited off the R, or they edited off.
Well, that's copyright, right? But this is a freaking huge mishap.
There are other instances of this. That's not.
Yeah, I 100% reckon there is. And then the ultimate, we're waiting peak bloodline for these ultimate Usos. Three great head scans, mind you, of Jimmy. And they all have the weird headpiece of the hair that's wrong.
Yep.
Man, these great Uso ultimates
get
ruined.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Holy. And they didn't make up for it. They didn't do any re-release on that specific ultimate. That would have been nice, but
you just got to roll with the punches at that point, man.
They did make up for it with the next Jimmy Uso Elite, which has a great head scan. But man, what a blunder! Peak bloodline, and like, how does that happen? Like, do you have bad references?
How you feel? Yeah, how you feel about this Uso thing is how I feel about heel turn John Cena. Like, how are we doing this? How is this happening?
Yeah, peak bloodline, mind you. Like, this is important. This is an important figure.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to, at least this is where I'm at in my brain. I'm thinking to myself, these these mistakes mainly happen because I think they make too many figures. I think they make too many figures, and I think that and maybe this could be a whole discussion for another day, but I think they, or at least at one point, they were making way too many figures, and you have mishaps because you're working on way too many figures. You have deadlines, you have things that got to be sent out. If this doesn't get approved, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And not that it's right. It's just I think that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, it's crazy because like guys like us, we're super passionate and we love Mattel. We love the work they do. We couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for Mattel. We owe a lot to them, and we just want the best product that they can deliver. And when something like that happens, when anyone can tell you, anyone can look at that and tell you that's wrong. And these designers are, I'm sure they're getting paid good money to make these figures. And then something like that happens, it's very disappointing. And it needs to be pointed out so they can do better work because they're capable of better for sure.
Well, you know that I'm gonna point it out. If it needs pointing out, I will probably more than likely I will point it out. You're too negative, man. All right. So that's our Mattel mishap. That was crazy. Hopefully I can find the clip. If I can find the clip, I definitely want to plug that in there with the Jimmy Uso and the Jey Uso. But now we're moving on to Mount Rushmore. And today is very interesting because, as we know, a week or the time you're seeing this, it's peak WrestleMania week. We're days away from this specific matchup. CM Punk is defending against the Tribal Chief, and I'm gonna be in the arena just acknowledging.
CM Punk blocked me on Instagram because of a promo I did in action figure form.
That's
Screw you, CM Punk.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, we'll be acknowledging the Tribal Chief on Sunday night when they go to war, and hopefully the Tribal Chief will get it all done for us there. But Mount Rushmore, we are doing, if you didn't know, Mount Rushmore is where we pick 4 of something. We have a category and we pick 4 of something. It could be the best, the worst, whatever. Last episode, on the first episode, we did the 4 best wrestling action figures we had gotten in the past 10 months or whatever, the past year or whatever. And so today, Mount Rushmore is going to be the 4 best Mattel CM Punk figures ever. 4 best CM Punk figures ever from Mattel. In your own opinion, you're going to defend your takes. I'm excited to see what you have to say. Let's get into it.
You want me to go first on this?
Yeah, you go one, and then I'll go one. And if yours sucks, I'll call you out about it.
Yeah, there's actually so many good CM Punk figures, and there's so many good ones that you kind of have to knock off the list because of one mishap. Again, Mattel mishaps. What are we doing with the hands, man? Why are there no hand tattoos on a lot of these new Punks? What is going on with that? Please, can we just get the hand tats, all right? I would like to mention, though, those ones that got knocked off. Elite 121 CM Punk. Great figure other than, that. And the top pick CM Punk Survivor Series. But the first one for the Mount Rushmore, I will say, is the SES CM Punk from the Vault Ringside exclusive.
Great pick. That is also my number one. That is my number one there.
Oh,
and again,
okay.
These are not in any order. We didn't rank them necessarily. There will be a day to rank. There'll be a day to do a tournament bracket. Today we're doing another Mount Rushmore. And yeah, what you said about Elite 121 Punk and the top picks, both of those could have easily been in contention for being on this list. If not, they might have 100%. Been on the list. But yeah, man, not having the drug-free tattoos, it's not like, if he, he's got sleeves. If you left off one tiny tattoo on his arm, that's one thing. We're talking about one of his big, it's like it had to do with his gimmick at one point. This is part of his character, is this drug-free tattoo. That's like leaving off, Roman Reigns or The Rock's Brahma Bull or something like that to me. You got to have that on there.
I would probably be more pissed if they left off an arm tat than a hand tat. Because at least the hand tat, you can swap the hands, right?
Yes.
Then you got to swap a whole arm.
That is correct. I'm just saying it would be less noticeable if you
100%. Yeah.
So that's where I'm going there. But you want to go with your number 2 or you want me to go with number 2?
I'll go with my number 2. My number 2 is the Ultimate Edition Money in the Bank 2011 CM Punk. How do you feel about that one?
Another fantastic pick, and also my number 2. My number 2. We made our list separately.
I was wondering if it's going to match up.
It might. I don't know. People can let us know down below if we're correct or not. I also have the Ultimate Edition Money in the Bank Punk. I think it got exclusive of the year for me when it released 2024. Yeah, it's just too damn good, man. It's too damn good. You got to leave it in there. And depending on how the rest of this, I'm gonna make a note because depending on how the rest of this goes, I want to come back to something on that figure, and so I'm gonna just
Okay.
write this down. So you can go ahead and say your number 3 if you'd like.
How about you go with your number 3?
Okay, I'll go with my number 3. This might be a hot take, but just let me cook for a second. All right, number 3. I have Mattel Creations exclusive.
Oh,
Hell Frozen Over Return Elite CM Punk.
bro, I was thinking of putting that on. It's actually so good.
Yeah. So
Man.
here, let me cook here. Okay, first of all, one of the biggest moments in wrestling in recent memory, CM Punk returns. Huge moment. Secondly, we don't really get promo gears in Elite form, man. It doesn't happen too often. And you get the skinny jeans mold. He's got the watch. He's got no wrist tape. I know the shirt. It comes with a white tee, but I don't know, man. There's just too much about the figure that is good, especially with the character CM Punk.
Yeah.
Love it. I think it's damn good.
Yeah, I filmed with it recently, and it's got pinless knees, and they feel great. It feels great in the hand, like you like to say.
Correct.
And yeah, it is fantastic. And I considered putting it on my list.
Let's go. What's your number 3?
So my next one, my number 3 is the CM Punk From the Vault Pipe Bomb ringside exclusive.
Hey, that is. I understand your pick there. Obviously, we got it in the defining moments. The hand tattoos were left off. The hair color, I think, was wrong. I want to say there was something else wrong with that figure. Maybe the stars were weird or something, like the spacing on the stars. But then they re-released it From the Vault, and they corrected all those issues. And I do like that pick. I like that pick for a defining moment too. It's one of the rare moments where the defining moments actually make sense.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Uncle Howdy.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing out here in the streets, man? LA night. But yeah, I think that's a solid pick. That's a solid pick.
Yeah.
It crossed my mind. I think it's understandable why somebody would have that on there. I don't think you're leaping right there. You want me to go?
What don't you like about it? What's stopping it from being on your list?
I think it's just because it's like a true effects of the Elite 16 head. And then I know that it doesn't necessarily dock it because it's from the vault, but I don't know, something in my brain's like, oh, they had to re-release that figure right after they just gave it to us. I don't know. I know that's dumb. That's just like where my brain goes, but it's still good. I just think that there's some elements that aren't as good as other CM Punks.
Yeah.
So you want to go 4? You want me to go 4 or you go 4?
You go 4.
Okay, 4. This one was tough for me, and I thought a lot about this, but I think at the end of the day, this is what I would choose. I went with Royal Rumble Elite CM Punk in the red with the lip ring.
Ooh, I thought yours had problems.
Mine, I can't remember what problems mine had. I know it's stupid that this is on here and I don't like a certain part of the figure, but just hear me out. I think that the gear and moment, I think that the formula, the posability, the gear, all that. He also has sculpted wrist and hand tape, includes the drug-free tattoo. And I love bearded long hair CM Punk, and I don't like the expression that he makes, but I still think the figure's pretty damn good, all things considered. And I just think that the double jointed arms and like the newer elements of the figure trump those Punks that maybe have came in the past. And that's why I think there's some people that are going to be pissed off about this list, but give me your number 4. Give me your number 4, and then we can kind of go back on what we think about that.
Okay, I'll go with my number 4. I wanted to talk about that Royal Rumble Elite. I think I had that as a kid, and the basic, and I'm glad they made an Elite of it. I don't have it, but yeah, it looks great. I think it's an awesome attire. I think the head scan has a good likeness. It's just a weird expression. Yep. But going with my number 4 is the Elite. Ooh, which one did I guess? Okay, mine is the Elite Top Pick CM Punk. I wrote that down, but which one is it?
The Elite Top Picks. Are you talking about the?
Are you talking about
the Survivor Series gear? Or are you talking about the live event all black gear?
Yeah, I think my list got screwed up because I think I took that off because it is missing the hand.
Okay,
tattoos.
Do you have a 4th?
Okay, if I was going to do a fourth, I'd probably say that promo gear. But to be different, I'm going to say Elite 1 CM Punk.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. You know what? I can see that. I can see that.
I
like
have that figure. It's a great head scan. The attire is awesome.
I mean,
I think
a 16-year-old figure or a 15, 16-year-old figure. I mean, it holds up. I wish they need to re-release that. They really need to re-release that because they kind of got the gray. If you've ever seen that attire, the gray is a little light on the figure compared to the actual gray on the gear.
Yeah.
And I thought that would have been a perfect plug into that IC title box set that got leaked out the other day. That would have been
I'm sure it'll get re-released at some point.
Maybe, but you think Oval IC title, I kind of think of that gray gear Elite 1 would have been a money plug. But one thing I wanted to mention here is there's so many really good classic punks that I think a lot of people are going to be upset that are not on here. First of all, honorable mention is Elite 16 Punk, kind of timeless classic. I feel like it kind of has a cult following in the community, kind of. For a long time, it kind of it was the definitive CM Punk. And like, if you go by all-time terms of status or historical significance, Elite 16 CM Punk's probably on there, right? But I think just with the newer elements of the evolution of, the true effects and the added articulation and everything like that. And also the Ultimate Edition Money in the Bank Punk is great, but his shirt is like a 5X. That Elite, that Elite 16 Punk shirt fit pretty damn snug, but that figure has to be mentioned. And then I almost included the Elite 11, which I also liked. It's the Navy Nexus Punk. I really like that one. And then I would have included other punks, but like you said, a lot of them.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah, they're missing the drug-free tattoo. And one day we're going to do a tournament bracket, and we're going to crown the best CM Punk figures, and we'll do a whole bracket and seed them up and have them going, different rounds. But there's a lot of good CM Punks out there.
Yep.
And I'm sure, maybe tomorrow, the time we're seeing this, tomorrow, we're probably going to see more CM Punks. Probably get a brand new Punk. So we will see. But I think that is our Mount Rushmore. Is there anything you'd like to add there?
No, I think we about covered it. I think we had a very similar list. So that goes to the quality of, those CM Punk figures. And, I bet we'll get a ton more that are going to maybe trump the ones that are on our list right now.
Correct. I mean, that new IC box set looks sick. It's white gear. Yeah, there you go. And it's got the tape. I think it has the tattoos. I don't know, man. Might be could be an all-timer. Who knows? Also has a head sculpt. So we'll see how that all progresses. But I think that is it. I'm going to check the mailbag really quickly just to make sure there's no question here. We tried to take some questions beforehand, but then we started filming and, we were trying our best here. But I will do
I've been holding this title up the whole time. It's heavy.
Hey,
shoulders getting sore.
Sometimes you gotta carry it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta maybe the mailbag again. We can we've kind of made an effort here today to tell people to leave some questions, to leave some things down below. And so maybe we can feature some of these questions on the next episode of My Damn Creators. But I think that is pretty much wrapping it up for me. What do you think?
Yeah, it's been a fun episode inviting you guys into the creative community. If you are not exposed to it, hope you guys thought this was an interesting discussion. Let us know down below what you want to see talked about in next week or in future episodes. And yeah, we're looking forward to being out in Vegas and seeing WWE World and all the reveals and WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. It's going to be a blast. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, man, that is pretty much it, man. I appreciate you guys so very much for watching. You can follow him. All of our links in the description. Our handles have been on the screen the whole time. YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. I don't know if our links are working because we have to develop a certain amount of time, I think, or something on the channel specifically to get links in our description, which is kind of dumb. But
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Regardless, all that stuff's down there. You can go follow it. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys. We will see you in Vegas. Have a blessed one, and we'll catch you guys later.